Hey, Eagle Run 2-3 here. Back to the whiteboard. We're going to talk about ammo and how much do you need. All right, so this is just a thought exercise. I am just a skilled amateur here. I have no real world experience in this, but this is just kind of an outline of what I'm thinking about. I'd love to know what you guys are thinking, and hopefully we can, between the few of us here, we can figure some of these things out. There's really no right or wrong answer here, and it's really based on so many individual personal preferences that it's going to be difficult for there to be one answer. But we're going to kind of give you a formula here that you can put into your system and kind of come up with a number that works for you. So while we're talking about ammo, we got to first talk about calibers. I'm going to only talk about the calibers that are used in your system of use. And if you watched my last video where we talked about how many guns do you need, we're only talking about ammo for those guns, or we're talking about ammo for guns that you shoot on a regular basis if you're not training for a specific scenario. So if you're a cowboy action shooter, just sub in this for you and you're not really preparing for anything. How many rounds do you shoot a year? Make sure you got that on stock. Shoot what you replace what you shoot, and move along. If you're thinking about training and things like that for whatever that hobby is, this works for that as well. So let's talk about just the calibers here. Your pistol caliber, okay, 9mm. Let's go ahead and put 2 M's on there so nobody gets confused. 9mm, and then we're gonna do 5.56. And then we're gonna do, what else are we gonna do? We're gonna do shotgun. All right, and then in addition to that, we're gonna come down here, we're gonna do 22, and we're gonna do some long range. So we're gonna mostly focus here, but we can put it into here. So if you're training and you're shooting on a regular basis, you need to think, or if you want to shoot on a regular basis, you need to think about, when I go do that, how many rounds am I going to shoot? It's not uncommon for me to go to the range and shoot as little as 100 rounds, as much as 300, 400, even 500 on occasion. I've been to some pistol classes where you're required to bring 300. I've been to some where you're required to bring 150. So if you're doing a training class, you're going to need to have a set amount for that, because you could go to a 3 or 4 hour class and burn 400 or 500 rounds. I've been to a carbine class where they said bring 500 rounds, and I was like, holy cow, the amount of ammo I have to bring to this class is as much as the class was. So if you're wanting to take some of those classes, you need to make sure you got ammo prepared for those as well. But we're kind of prepping here in this scenario, so think about what you're going to shoot, and I would say that you need to have a 1-year supply of what you shoot in storage. Okay, so we're going to use some basic numbers here. Going to the range a couple of times a month and shooting a normal amount of ammo. Okay, so let's start with handgun. If you're going to go to the range 3 or 4 times a month, which some of you go 3 or 4 times a year, some of you go 3 or 4 times a week. I've done all of those. In fact, here recently, I have not shot as much as I wanted to. There was about 3 years in a row, just a couple years ago, that I was shooting dedicated once a week, and I really enjoyed that. I got a lot better in a short amount of time shooting that consistently. So think about your training schedule and input those into the formula here. Training per month. So how many times you're going to train per month? We're going to use, we're going to say 3 or 4. Okay, and then we're going to come on here and we're going to say that's 40. That's 40 a year. Okay, so I'm training 40 times a year in this scenario. So if I'm going to shoot 100 rounds every time I go of 9mm, that's just 2 boxes. That's not much. That is 4,000 rounds a year that I'll shoot at these numbers. Obviously adjust those to fit your situation. So me as one shooter, I need 4,000 rounds of 9mm in storage so that I could train for a year uninterrupted. Now, if I'm interrupted, that's kind of in the situation we're in right now. Right now, I can't really get ammo at a reasonable price to replace what I'm shooting, so I'm training less. So for me, I wouldn't need 4,000 because I'm not going to hit these marks this year. But again, this is a starting point in order for you to get off the ground. Now, if your wife goes with you on half of those, or your son goes with you, or your daughter goes with you on half of those, then they're going to need that many rounds as well. So now you're looking at 6,000 rounds a year in 9mm, going 3 times. Now, if you're only going to go twice a month, then you can drop that down. So just think about that. So here's a number that we came up with this formula. Obviously fit it to you. Let's walk over, and it's going to be the exact same thing for 5.56. So I'm not really, so I'm going to say 4,000 right here. And then obviously we know that that's, times per one shooter. Now in the shotgun, you might take a shotgun class. I was signed up for one and it didn't end up happening. I would like to take a shotgun class, but I really don't have a shotgun that's worthy of taking a shotgun class. But let's just put a number out there. If you've got 200 shotgun rounds, you're going to be pretty good. You're going to want maybe 3/4 or half of those. Let's just say 100 of those in more of a defense. I'll just put 2 circles: double aught buck, triple aught, 4-shot, turkey loads. That'd be great. And then maybe the other half in bird. So we could say buck and bird. Got the animals going there. Okay, so there's your 200 for shotgun. Now, long range. If you're a long range shooter, now I'm trying to get into long range. You guys following the channel know I'm building a 6.5 Creedmoor, which, by the way, the bolt for that came in. I think I got it right here. Sneak peek here. We have a beautiful bolt that came in for the 6.5. I can't wait to get that going. You're going to need, if you're training with this, now you're not going to shoot, you're not going to shoot 50, 100 rounds when you go, train for or practice with your long range. You're probably only going to shoot 20 to 50. So these numbers get cut way down. So if I go 40 times a year shooting long range, which would be a lot for most of us, if I go 40 times a year and I shoot 50 shots, then I'm going to need a stockpile of 200 of those. Now, you may want to stockpile what you're considering a target rifle or a target caliber, or you may want to stockpile what you consider a target ammo versus like a defense ammo. But for the most part, you practice with what you shoot in the long range, because you kind of get your gun and your optics set up for a specific bullet. You want to know what that bullet's going to do, and so you're probably looking at stocking up on 200 of the good stuff, unfortunately. So let's just say 200. Now, if you're, I don't think there's anything wrong with saying 500. For me personally, 500 is my goal for my long range stuff. I'd like to have, for me, I'm 6.5 Creedmoor, but I would like to, and again, long range, we don't need to hash out whether or not a 6.5 is long range or not. That would be a discussion for another video. Okay, so let's talk about 22 long rifle, not long range. 22 long rifle. You can't have too much 22. I mean, just being honest, you can't have enough 22. If you think, let's just do it like this. If you think that 200 rounds is a lot of 22 long rifle, then I would say you should get 500. Okay? If you think that 1,000 rounds of 22 is a lot, then I think you should probably get 2,000 or 3,000 rounds. This stuff, this is, you want to have as much of this as you can get. Every time I see it, I grab it. I have 2 kids who shoot 22, and I like to shoot 22. We got several guns that shoot it, and this is just, you got to have a lot of this. So I would just kind of say, if you think you need this, double it, and that would kind of give you a number to shoot for. Right now, this stuff's going for 40, 50 cents a round, so you're not going to want to get 1,000 at those prices, but normally when this stuff is, sub 10 cents a round, stock up on it. So hopefully you already have some. All right, so let me know what I got right and what I got wrong here. Let me know if you want to substitute something in. If we get enough, consensus, I'll come back and we can revisit this and put out another video, and maybe you guys change my mind or something. So I'm gonna say 6,000. That's what you need. Average guy needs 6,000. That's my number. I'm sticking to it because that gives you 4,000 for you and 2,000 for your partner. My wife doesn't shoot, so I guess I get all 6,000. All right, cool. Eagle Run 2-3. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.